All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Angie Atkinson, and I'm here with the lovely and talented Lise Colucci. Lise, welcome back.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Happy to have you here as always.
Yay.
Okay. So while we're waiting for everything, whoop, now I'm talking to my own ears, never good. Okay. While we are waiting for everyone to hop into the chat, let me just fill you in on what we're doing here today. Oh, and before I do that, for those who are watching back on the replay, or if you're here right now, watch for our mod squad here in the chat to show up and bring reminders and information on how you can reach myself, how you can reach me. Sorry, I don't want to say myself. How you can reach Lise and both of us for these streams, as well as other stuff. Hello, Peggy, Christine, L, Blue, Driver, Karina, Valkyrie, Pocket Full of Sunshine, Adrian. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. So today we thought we would talk about, I actually got this comment, and I think it's a really important comment because it kind of highlights some confusion that's pretty consistent in our community. So I'm going to read you the comment, and then Lisa and I are just going to take it from there. All right. Here we go. What should I do with this? Now, this comment was left on a video that I did about self-isolation after you go through narcissistic abuse. And the comment says this: what should I do with this? I'm codependent, getting involved with a narcissist, and I need to take responsibility for playing a role with the narcissist. And yet it's not my fault, huh? Right? So my answer to this question was initially, knowledge is power, my friend. The fact that you're codependent isn't your fault. The fact that you got it initially, that you initially got involved with a narcissist isn't your fault. The abuse, not your fault. But once you know what you're dealing with, you can and should begin to take responsibility for what happens next. Eventually, like once you get through the hard parts, right? That's part of the healing process. Are you interested? Anyway, okay, so let's talk about it. I think the main point of this is, yes, absolutely, you should be, you are and should be considering yourself responsible for your own well-being after you figured out what you're going through from here forward. And I personally found it really helpful to figure myself and the narcissist out from here back, right? So that I knew what to do next. But from there, how responsible are we for our own recovery? And how responsible are we for the abuse? Personally, I don't consider us responsible for the abuse, period. But I do think that once we know what we're dealing with, we have a certain amount of responsibility to help ourselves out and to help ourselves recover. Now, I know it's not easy all the time. I know it's not even possible all the time to get away. But I do think I think knowledge gives us power. And there's a certain amount of responsibility that comes with power. But I'm interested, Lise, what are your thoughts? Did you freeze up on me?
I have been frozen this whole time.
No.
I think, I don't know which of us is frozen to everybody else.
I see myself moving on YouTube.
I see
Do you see yourself moving?
I don't know what to do.
All right. Why don't you sign out and sign back in and just on the same thing?
You'll let me in later. Okay.
I mean, I'll let you in right away.
I'll find me. maybe it's my, I don't know.
Well, it might not be me. Okay, wait. Everybody in the chat, can you see my, okay. Oh, my stars. Okay. Well, while we're waiting for Lise to come back, I will say, please take note of Huffle Mom. There she is in the chat, leaving putting reminders and information about how you can get in touch with us. Lise, oh good. Okay, Jack, thank you so much. Jack from our mod squad says it is Lise who was frozen, so that's good. Thank you, Blue Moon. I appreciate y'all. And Peggy, thank you. Okay, we're gonna see if she's back. She's been having a little bit of technical difficulty today, so we're just gonna say this is what happens sometimes in the live stream. Right now, I'm gonna wait for her to come back, but I'm interested in knowing. I want to ask you guys, what do you think is our responsibility as survivors, as people who are working toward becoming thrivers? What is our responsibility in recovery? I mean, I would like to blame the narcissist for everything, and they certainly are to blame for most of the things. But we could also go so far as to look back at their parents and their parents' parents and everything else, because all of this is connected, right? So I'll just put it to you like this. A lot of times we talk about, people don't want to do forgiveness. They don't want to forgive a narcissist for their behavior, which I get it. I don't want to forgive them either. And so I did forgive the people who abused me, but not for their benefit, only for my own. Hey, Lise. Okay, she's back. Can you hear me? Oh, she's connecting. Okay. We have Lise coming back in.
Nope.
Nope. Well, eventually, I hope you'll be. Wait, there you go. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So what I was just saying. Oh wait, Valkyrie, if you would please tag myself or Lise in the comment. Well, tag me in the comment because I don't think Lise is reading live chat. Then I will try to find that for you and answer your question. Oh, here it is. I have a question. All right. So we're going to pause. We're going to answer this question really quickly before we forget. Okay. It's from Valkyrie. It says, I have a question. Why does my kid's father and his girlfriend, the new supply, can you hear me?
Kind of. I have a question and then
Okay. Why does my kid's father and his girlfriend, the new supply, try their hardest to be petty and act vindictive, just to make me mad and hurt me in any way possible? How do I ignore them? Okay. Really quickly on this one. What I would say, Valkyrie, in this case is you're going to have to pull out your gray rock, right? And you're going to have to do your very best to not react in any way to them becoming, being petty, being childish, being small, just business by the book, right? So you might have, I assume you have a, what's it called? A custody agreement in place. And if you do, I would start with that. I would go by the custody agreement. If they do little petty things, unless those things are costing you legally, financially, or otherwise, and they're just annoying, I would ignore those things. Even though you might be mad about those things privately, don't let them see that you're bad. Because the reason they're doing it, I think, is to get, he's doing it for supply. She's probably doing it to support her man or whatever. So that would be my suggestion there, to gray rock, stay calm, stay cool, let them think whatever they want to think. But when they do that to you, you respond, okay, interesting. No expression, no emotion, negative or positive. Lise, what are your thoughts for Valkyrie? I think Lise froze on us again. She did. Okay. She'll be back. Well, anyway, that would be my suggestion, Valkyrie. Let me know if you have any follow-ups. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy to hear Lynette. Lynette says she is in her own place for the new year, away from the narcissist. Congratulations. Hands up for Lynette, everybody. Woo. All right, let's see here. Oh, okay. Just reading through. Hey, Kay. Hey. From, I think you're one of our friends from TikTok. All right. Yes, Jack agrees we are not responsible for the abuse, but we are responsible for our recovery and healing. And I think that's what it's about, bottom line. I mean, no, I absolutely would never blame the victim for any sort of abuse, even if the victim already knew the abuse was happening, because like I said, you and I both know it's not always easy to run away, right? Can't get away as fast as you'd like to sometimes. But we certainly, regardless of that, we're not responsible for abuse ever. But we are definitely, I agree, we're definitely responsible for our own recovery and healing. And if we expect anyone else to do it for us, it's not going to get done. I sure hope Lise makes it back in. She's having some connectivity issues, and I did not plan to do solo today, but let me just see if she's not back yet. Okay, well, we'll wait for her, or we'll keep going anyway. All right. Huffle Mom, thank you for posting the reminders. Our mod squad today is our amazing Christine Schwartz, Jack Lumen, and Huffle Mama, for anyone who wonders. They're all in blue. All right. And Kevin, hey Kevin. Kevin says, I now have knowledge and therefore responsibility to tell you that the black-haired one on the right is frozen. Yes, she was definitely frozen. Let me see if I'm missing her. Let me see if she has not signed back in yet. So she will hopefully be here soon. Please. Okay. Well, okay, here we go. Awa says, why would a narcissist discard you and not speak to you? Let's talk about it. So generally, when you have done something to the narcissist to cause narcissistic injury, which means they have felt offended or hurt or put off by something you said, then you're going to see the discard game and the silent treatment being played. Now, this might be because you broke a rule, or you embarrassed them in some way, or you annoyed them. It could be anything. It depends on the situation. If you could fill me in a little more. But anyway, the reason they do it is to punish you and also to prevent themselves from having to explain themselves. It could even be they did something to you and you found out and called them out on it and they can't handle that. So I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Okay. Adrian says, I'm going through it big time. Okay. I feel you, Adrian. Fill me in. Let us know what's going on. Kevin says, in the situation perfect for the narcissist. And the situation perfect for the narcissist, they would dump you if they knew you found out. Yeah, of course. Yes. Yes. The ILY pod, cute name, says, I think it is our own fault because we did not send boundaries from the beginning. Welcome back, Lise. She's on her way in, guys. Can you hear me, Lise?
I can hear you now.
Yay!
Oh, what the heck? I just like shut my like started up, persistent as I may be. Anyway,
I love it.
So I don't know where we're at. I'll just be quiet and listen.
No, just pop right in here. Here you go. Okay, wait a minute. What happened? Now I'm not on the screen. Oh, now we're on the. Okay, we have the. Let me fix it with you. I think. Oh, I see. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Oh, here we go. Speaker gallery. Okay, that's what we want. Let's try that. I don't know. We might be popping back on the off and on. Oh, there we are. Okay, I got it. All right. Now let me ask you a question. I just answered a couple of questions. I want to ask you for your opinion on this one. Let me get to it. While I'm looking for the next one, it was darn. I don't even know what. Okay, we did the one about the kids and the new girlfriend, right? Did you answer that one? No, you didn't.
I didn't answer anything. I was just like,
okay.
Yeah, the whole time.
Okay, I'm going to read you this question and have you answer it for Valkyrie because I basically told her, you know, she's got a gray rock and stay cool and no emotion, all that. Okay, the question is, why does my kid's father and his girlfriend, the new supply, try their hardest to be petty and act vindictive just to make me mad and hurt in any way possible? And how do I ignore it?
Oh, if I could give you stories.
You could go ahead.
I gotta yeah. Why do they do that? Because that's what narcissists do. And remember, the new supply doesn't probably, unless she's toxic herself, she thinks you're the bad guy because he's spun it, so you're the bad guy.
Yep.
And so she thinks she's doing what's right for the kiddos and for her man, right?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. And so she doesn't, or she's just as toxic. So it doesn't help anything to know that, but it's what's happening.
Right.
Why do narcissists do that? Because they have to win. They have to control. They use the children as pawns in the relationship now because they can no longer control you. So in order to control you, they use the relationship with the kid.
And for supply.
And for supply, yeah.
With the emotions, right?
Right.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. All right, another one for you. Why would a narcissist discard you and not speak to you? From Awa.
Why would they discard you and not
speak? This is a different person, but yes.
Oh, yeah, because they, well, it's what they do. they it really depends on why they wouldn't speak to you. They're either punishing you, they're trying to control you, they've moved on, and they don't want to think about you for a little while. They, usually it has something to do with setting you up so that when they hoover, you're really hungry. Yeah.
That's right.
They're starving you so that you're hungry for it later. Yes. And then when they come back, you'll accept anything. And they know that they don't even have to give breadcrumbs then. They can just.
Ooh. Yes, that's right. It's very good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, good.
Okay, I have this really great two-parter for us here. And this one I have not, actually three-parter, I have not even seen yet. I started to see, but then I got distracted. Gosh darn it, now I just got to the bottom of the freaking chat. Hello. Okay, hold on, but I remember the name. Okay, so the question was, here we go. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. Okay.
It's a day, man. I just like whatever happens, fall off the chair. It's all good.
Okay, we're fine.
We're good.
It's fine. Okay, moving on. Let's get off those stupid. Okay. Okay, moving on. All right. I think it's our fault because we did not set boundaries from the beginning. The reason I'm pulling this one out is because this is what we're talking about today, really. And then we have, that was from ILY Pod. Then we have Kevin who says, we're not aware of the boundaries, or we're not aware of boundaries, we can't set them, but we can learn. So, and one more thing, hold on before we get into this. AngieLive says, fault being that we stayed when we knew they did us wrong. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about this. First of all, I agree that we didn't set boundaries. I agree that we probably were taught that we are not allowed to set boundaries somewhere in our life, right? Probably in childhood, and it just carried right on through to our relationships, because people who want to stomp all over boundaries, well, they like people who don't know how to set them properly, right?
Right.
Okay, so that makes sense. However, can we blame ourselves for not knowing how to set boundaries, and for being scared to deal with confrontation, and for being afraid of people's reactions and emotions and all this stuff? Can we blame ourselves for that? I say no. I say, before we know what we're dealing with and what we're doing, we probably think we know how to set boundaries. I used to think I was badass until I realized that I was just a regular
like, oh, that's what that means. Yeah.
Turns out I was, yeah. So what are your thoughts about this, Lise?
I think there's a difference between blaming yourself and taking responsibility. I think that taking responsibility means, as you are uncovering something brand new and like, what? How do I do that? What am I doing wrong? That then you take steps to be open to change and open to trying to fix things in the direction of healing your life versus fixing things in a toxic relationship. So you can stay in a toxic relationship and set all the boundaries you want. You're not fixing the relationship, and you're not actually helping yourself. All you're doing is putting up like these barricades that hold back some of the abuse.
Right.
So taking responsibility it literally is like a little path you're walking on. It's not like a big, you either do it or you don't do it, to me, kind of thing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. And I agree. And I think when we take responsibility, we also take power.
We take power. Yeah. And then the boundary setting is a piece of it. So yes, I mean, we don't know how to set boundaries, but here's the truth. You can't set a boundary with a narcissist.
That's right.
You can do it. They're not going to allow it.
Right.
Setting a boundary with a narcissist. Here's an example. You stated, do not, I said this yesterday on a video. This is the narcissist. Don't you ever text me, only use OFW, which we do that too. So cool. Whatever. You only use the parenting app.
Right.
Fine. I will never speak to you again except through that. So we say, okay, good, because I don't want to talk to you anyway, right?
Right.
And then you say blah 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 through the parenting app, and they reply, what time? I told you blah 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 through text. They push the boundary that they set, right? So they said the boundaries are there for you, not for them in their world. So you can be the best boundary setter in the world, and they will find ways to spin it all around you like you're the problem. So it's kind of about setting boundaries, and kind of like even doing that isn't enough. So taking responsibility is more about seeing where you need to make changes to get yourself the heck out of that situation, or if you can't, to not let it affect what goes on in here and in here.
Oh yeah. I love that, and I agree. And I think that's a really important thing, is boundaries is where that's the thing that will make or break any relationship. But if you really start to put them in place with narcissists, and you literally, I mean, you have to almost, again, this is assuming you're not dealing with someone who's physically abusive,
right,
who has the potential to be physically abusive, but you can really watch them crumble right in front of you if you wanted to. Not that I'm saying you'd want to do that, but you could. I mean, yeah. So I also want to talk about this one thing that AngieLive said, our fault being that we stayed when we knew they did us wrong. I want to talk about that.
Our fault when we stayed when we knew leaving was right?
Yeah, like we should have left, but we couldn't, or we wouldn't.
A lot of people feel shame and guilt and self-blame for that. A lot of people. And yeah.
But I think it's really important to think about circumstances, right? Because sometimes you stay for your kids. Sometimes you stay because you can't survive without that person financially. Sometimes you stay because they're nearly impossible to escape from. Maybe you're being financially abused. You don't have any access to money. I mean, there are so many. Maybe it's better than living on the street, you know?
Maybe you're just scared. Maybe you don't know that it can be better. Maybe you don't know that it's really as bad as you think it is.
That's right. Can I tell you an amazing story that I just literally just got? Okay. The reason we were a little late today and later than usual is because I had a call right before this. And the client, when I first started working with her, she was so down on herself. Let me tell you, this is a gorgeous woman, a powerful woman, amazing woman. And she has just, it's amazing. She didn't even know she was attractive. I mean, she had no idea. And her friends took her away for a weekend right after Christmas or a week or something. And she, like girlfriends, they all went on a girls trip somewhere. And she came back like a whole new woman. It was amazing. It made me want to go take a dang girls trip. Like,
where are the girls? Because I don't. But yeah,
you should come too. We should have a girls trip. Okay. but she, like, okay. Anyway, she forgot she was attractive. And of course, going out in the world and being all dressed up and having fun, she remembered. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The reason I'm talking about that is this. She thought her life was over. That man did what he did to her. And now she's like a glowing star. And I'm so excited and happy for her. And I just think that if any of us feel ourselves feeling stuck, she felt like everything was dark, like everything was terrible and all this stuff. And now she's just like, oh, what I mean? It makes my heart just swell.
Right? It's that perspective shift. And you can't just, it doesn't just happen. She took action to be open to something different too. Yeah.
That's right. Keep telling me. I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Oh no, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. No,
I'm agreeing with you. I think I love to watch a survivor go from, I hate to see people in pain.
Yeah.
But I love to see somebody go from their lowest point to flying. I mean, it just, my heart just swells every time. And I almost cried just now talking about it.
Excellent. That's awesome. Right. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. It's great to see that.
Yeah.
I love when that happens,
Yeah. Beautiful thing. Anyway, and I know
I've told people that I've spoken to,
yeah,
like after talking to them a while, not just people, I don't say things, I'm not a big complimenter unless I know you. Once I know you, look out.
Watch out.
But I've told people, like, wait a minute, you're gorgeous. You're smart. You're worthy. What you are. And they had never genuinely heard that before in their life. Yeah. And so how can you take responsibility for making changes to believe something about yourself you've never even heard?
Right. You couldn't even know.
You didn't even know. You didn't know that like, really? Like, I always thought maybe I was kind of a good person, but what? From all those things? Yes.
Yeah.
You actually are. All those things. Yeah.
It's so shocking. And, even when you think back to, like, I think back to my own childhood, and I think I told you the story recently, but when my daughter was small, I went somewhere with my mother and my daughter, and my mother, as I was putting little sunglasses on my daughter, like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. She was not even a year-old yet. My mother, I was telling her how beautiful she was. I'm sorry, I just realized you probably didn't understand what I said. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I was telling my daughter how beautiful she was, because that's what I do sometimes. And my mother turns to me and says, you shouldn't keep telling her she's beautiful. She'll get a big head. And that explains my whole childhood in some ways.
Yeah, it explains why we don't even know what about yourself. Yeah. And again, back to the topic, how can you be responsible in a relationship that beats you down when you're believing everything that you believe the negative so easily because of
And so often those of us who end up with narcissists in romantic or other types of adult relationships came from a home where somebody treated us like we weren't important, we didn't matter, or worse.
One of the more common things I hear from people when I ask what it is that they actually want, like, what do you want for yourself? What is it that you like truly actually want? It's either to be important, to feel special, or to feel valid.
That makes me want to cry too.
It breaks your heart, right? Because how basic is that? And I get it too. I'm there sometimes.
Still there sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so funny because, people, this is the thing, this recovery business, it's not like, you can't just like go through it and be done forever. And I'm not saying don't have hope about that.
Well, no, yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying you are a living, walking project, and that can be fun sometimes.
It can be fun. Yeah, it has its pitfalls too, but it can be fun.
Right. Yeah. But mostly, most days I feel pretty good. Most days I do okay. But like every human, I'm sure Lisa's the same way. I have ups and downs.
Yeah, there's some rough patches.
There's some times. Oh yeah, yeah. But now Dawn says not blaming yourself, and I agree. I don't think that's the important thing. You said this earlier, Lise. You know, we're taking responsibility, not blaming ourselves, right?
Yeah, and also like I'll tell people a lot, you know, the more you blame yourself, the slower you're making your progress because it's like a cap to progress. It stops you right where you're at. The second you're like, I'm stupid, that was dumb of me, I'm such an idiot. I deserve it. I stayed. I should have known better. The second you start shouldaing yourself, you've put a cap on anything that goes beyond that because you already know the answer. I should have. And there's, you know, we need to be a lot kinder to ourselves in this.
We do.
Yeah.
And let me just throw something else out here for y'all. Something I did in previous relationships, or it was when someone would overly criticize me, I would defend myself for a while. And then I would go, fine, you're right, I'm stupid.
Yep.
That never went over well either. But it's one of those things like, even though I knew I wasn't stupid, I would just say it to just end it. Never did though. I never ended it.
Did it make you start believing it?
You know, okay, well, I definitely thought I was ugly. The only thing I ever knew about myself was that I was smart. And the only reason I knew that is because I had little pieces of paper that told me so. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like from people who didn't care if I was smart or dumb.
Right, yeah.
Like schools and
yeah.
So I always knew that part of it. I knew I was smart. I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else necessarily, but I knew that I had that one thing, and that's probably why I'm still alive today. Honestly, because I had a hard time as a kid. But anyway, okay. But no, I do see why people do start to believe, and I did start to believe it on some level because it's not really a lack of intelligence, it's a lack of nerve.
Well, here's the thing: when you know you're smart, you're smart, and you're still staying in a relationship that you're not taking responsibility to leave. Right. Don't you feel stupid?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah, but you're not. You're not. You're trauma bonded. Right. You're manipulated. You're trapped.
Guilty.
You're foggy. Yeah.
All the
foggy.
things.
It's not
obligated.
It's not easy. If this were easy, we wouldn't need to be making videos for it. So
that's right. That's right. Okay. Peggy says, I'm big on self-responsibility. Was it our fault? Well, fault is not the same as responsibility. Responsibility doesn't equal blame either.
Right.
That's right. That's right, Peggy. That's right. Right?
Right. That's what we were saying. Yep.
That's all we're saying. Right. Adrian says, setting hard boundaries when you live with them and the supply that they think they know you and don't. Oh, yes. Okay, Adrian. Yeah, setting hard boundaries with a narcissist when you live with them. I guess the new supply you're talking about, that they think they know you and they don't know you. That's exactly kind of what we were talking about earlier too, right? Because you do. Like the supply only heard from the other person. And so if
not only did they not know you, but the new supply doesn't know the narcissist either. And so they are completely in the dark and they're just going on reaction to what they're told.
Yeah, of course. And also they have a better in if you think about the psychology of it all. If you went to them and you said, this guy's a piece of poop or this lady's a piece of poop or whatever, and this is who they really are, right?
Yeah, you look
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to say it, but like if I'm sitting here now, I personally, Angie Atkinson, if somebody's ex came to me and said that and I was trying to be with that person, I would listen.
Right now. Yeah.
But 15 years ago, I'd have been like, whatever, you're just mad that I got him. Like, not really, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was never that girl. I never did the overlapping thing, but some people do. And because they believe the lies the other person tells. So what I would say to you is I think one of the biggest, most important things any of us could do is at least if the ex comes and tries to tell you something, at least don't initially blow it off. Maybe do some investigation. Ask for text proof, receipts,
tricky
whatever.
Too, though, because what if the ex is the narcissist?
And it's also possible, right?
Things get complicated.
This is why I say go really slow.
Go slow, yeah. And just trying not to let the words and the actions of new supply affect you when you have to be around them. difficult, but
ideally you would not involve yourself too much with new supply at all, but except for in, passing, until they become stepmommy or daddy, I guess. And then you have to at least try to find.
Well, sometimes there's benefit in then sort of making peace with them so that your child has a safe place.
Exactly.
And if they're good people, if they are like just have the wool pulled over their eyes right now and they are,
then they could be your biggest advocate in the end.
It's complicated. Yeah.
But do you know what I think? And this could be totally off base, but what I think is this. I think when you have an ex involved, or let's say you're the ex, here's the new supply over here. No, let's go the other way. Let's say you married somebody and their ex, you're dealing with co-parenting sort of, or whatever, right? Here's what I think.
You're co-parenting with a wait.
So you're dating somebody or getting ready to marry, whatever it is, and they have a child with this other person over here. This person we assume is not a narcissist, the person you're dating. Okay. This person over here is making all sorts of accusations and whatever. Here's something interesting.
That's a familiar one, yeah.
Right? You will see behaviors and you will see reactions on the person you're with and the other person. You will see how they interact. And if you have ever been with a narcissist or dealt with a narcissist in any capacity, that's your moment where you can almost tell, I think.
You can read it. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Like a book, right? Okay.
Sometimes it is a book.
Yes. All right. I'm not going to try. Okay. I'm going to let you say as much or as little as you want.
Just a book of word salad. I mean, you're right. If you watch the interactions between the two of them, especially if it's in writing where you can actually, it's right there.
Believe yourself. Believe yourself. That's what
right? It exposes itself, who's what and how. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Oh, I like what Chris says here. She says, we don't need to forgive, but maybe understand. Because earlier I was talking about how I went through, I personally called it forgiveness in my own recovery, but I don't anymore because so many survivors were annoyed or irritated or bothered by that term. So now I just call it, I release the need to hold them responsible for their behavior.
I call it acceptance.
Acceptance too.
Yes. Acceptance, not of the behavior, that it actually happened.
That it happened and
that they are what they are.
Right. Can't fix them, can't fix what happened. But can move forward and do better. Yeah. I love it. Julie says, me too. I just got out of being homeless after discarding in my own place. Well, first of all, good for you. Okay, seriously, hands up for Julie.
Yay.
Okay. That's amazing. Congratulations. I'm sorry that you were homeless. That's awful. But I'm so glad that you're in your own place and moving forward. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. ILY Pod says, oh, wait, this is in relation. I told you what Chris said about you don't need to forgive, maybe understand. Yeah, understanding helps a lot, right? It helps you understand what, for me, it helped me to release my anger, which when I finally got angry, because I was sad for a long time and hurt and all this other stuff. And eventually I got angry. Then I was able to push past. So that's that. But ILY Pod says, forgive them, but don't stay. But don't stay with the dum-dums because then you'll be dumb. But it's a legitimate point also. I like when people say dum-dums. I think that's fun. Hey, Bonnie, welcome back. Bonnie from the Mod Squad in the house. Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe we should talk next time about, or sometime in the near future, about having inheritance held over your head. That happened to me.
That's a good one.
Okay. Because Jack and Alpha Mom are going through that right now. It happened to me. I already lost my inheritance. I won't have any, and that's okay. But okay, Adrian says you forgive yourself, or you forgive for you and better yourself and heal. That's how I felt about it as well. But again, I try not to tell people to forgive.
Some people that doesn't work for. Like sometimes, especially people who have struggled with anger to begin with, getting angry. Sometimes holding a little piece of that non-forgiveness is useful for some.
And people. It is. I still have. I could definitely pull up the anger if I wanted to.
Exactly.
At least with my parents, not so much with my ex. I don't care about him.
Yeah, who cares?
But I mean, it's good. But the parent thing really does keep me off quite a bit. But you're right. Holding a little bit. Talk about that. Have you worked through that yourself?
No, just that for some people, for a lot of people, it's very difficult to get angry, and they have so much expression of empathy not that they have more empathy than others, but that their expression of empathy is they feel like they need to outwardly express empathy toward people, and that to be angry actually hurts them.
Hmm.
And and so they can't get mad at the narcissist, since every time there's a Hoover, they feel like they need to reply. Every
Right.
time that the then that type of narcissist tends to be the type that comes to them with, oh, so and so's hurt, so and so's this, and the needy, do something
Right.
for me types, and then they get sucked back in one way or another. So holding a little tiny piece of anger there kind of helps them go, oh no, I'm not doing that again. Yeah.
Absolutely agree. And I've had clients who I've actually helped them find the anger,
Yeah.
because you need to go through it or you
You
won't.
do. You do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and it's very unjust what's happening to you in these relationships.
Yes.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't want to have the anger because we think it'll make us toxic. But for me, anyway, it was the thing that pushed me out every time. You know what I mean? That was the thing. And it was, I needed to be angry to propel forward in my recovery and in my life. But then I needed to release it once I got past the point where it was productive. I'm sorry, I'm having
awesome. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Having allergies today or something. My throat's been hurting.
What is that? Me too. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. It doesn't seem like it.
Seems like a weird season for it. But.
I know. Well, maybe I'm just sick. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. As I'm honking and my laughing. Okay. I don't know why you guys listen to me. Okay. Now, this is a great comment from Kevin, and I want to talk about it. He says, I would never understand someone with the power to change their situation staying in it. But most people in the United States don't have the financial means. I mean, it's all relative because, again, there are so many different facets of something like moving house, right? Or even throwing someone out of the house, because now you have to figure out how to pay for everything one way or the other. And if you have children, then this is incredibly complicated, because if you take the kids and you go, and then you have this person try to come after the kids, then they win because they have more money or more power or whatever. Well, then you're in this position where you can't even be there for your kids. Like, and God knows what happens. And a lot of mothers and fathers stay for that reason, right? So that's a big thing. I know financial is a big issue, and some of them, some people are quite wealthy, but they still don't have the financial means because the person they're with is abusing them financially. They're taking all the money, or they won't give them access. And in some cases, this is true even when they're the only one who works.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, there's such a huge emotional piece that sticks us to these situations, that it isn't always about means. In fact, often it's not about means. I think many people could find the means.
Right.
Whether it's what they want to do or not, they could find the means to get out. It's the trauma bonding. We have to understand it. It's not a choice.
Right.
You have to make the choice to fight through the trauma bond, and that is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At best. Yeah.
That's right. So two things. First of all, earlier today, I was thinking maybe it would be cool if one week we brought our mod squad on camera. So you guys in the mod squad, I want you to think about that. That way everybody can see who they're talking to, at least for a short part of the, maybe the beginning or the end of our session. Number two, I have a comment from Charlie Ward. Hey, Charlie, who left us a super chat. Charlie says, hey, Angie, long time no see. I've now been no contact with my mother since Christmas 2020. So just over a year. I intend to keep it that way. She hasn't learned anything and has attempted to hoover. Okay. First of all, congratulations on maintaining no contact. I know it's hard. I know it's even harder around the holidays. But if I want to ask you, are you feeling lighter yet? I found myself almost instantly feeling lighter. And as time went on, just healthier in my head, as I started to realize I had to rethink like literally everything in my entire life. I wonder if that happened to you as well. Lise, do you have anything for Charlie?
No, it's great to celebrate that. And yeah, it's, I forgot the first part of what they said.
Been in no contact since Christmas 2020, so just over a year. Intends to keep it that way. She hasn't learned anything and has attempted to hoover.
And it's just attempted to hoover, of course. Of course
she has.
Yeah. So good job on resisting those hoovers, because especially from a mother, those are
Hard.
Guilt laden and
Mhm.
challenging. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Charlie. I'm grateful for you and for your update. All right, let's see here. Oh, Bonnie says laryngitis. You know, I don't think I have laryngitis, but Bonnie does. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. But I do notice I'm swollen right here. And I'm sure it's just something going around. I'm sure it's fine. Probably because I slept with my mouth open like that. Or like, it's a long story. Anyway, okay. JJ, hey JJ. Alyssa says, why do the women I find out about lie for him?
Why do they what?
Don't they? Why
Lie
would
for
they
him?
lie for him? Don't they care what they're doing? First of all,
No, they don't care.
they don't care. They're being told lies about you. They think you're the horrible person and he's the goody. I hope that you consider changing that to past tense when we say those women that my ex I found out about, because listen, if they're going to cheat on you once or more than once, that's and you stay, then that's your life. Like
Right.
you deserve better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
They don't
deserves
want to
better.
get caught either. They don't want to get in the middle of it. If they're the women,
Confrontation.
yeah. If they're the women that this person's cheating with, then they don't want to be involved in that. They just want.
Can we just agree to not have sex with people who are with other people? Everybody, can we just all agree to that? That'd be
Wish, but yeah.
I mean, sorry. Yeah, that's. But I feel for you. I do. And as Jack knows, yeah, they've been lied to as well. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with that being said, also I want to say this again: we should all have deal breakers. And I don't know, everybody has a different definition of a deal breaker, and everybody has a different definition of even cheating, right? For me personally, they are don't cheat on me in any way, shape, or form. And I define cheating as anything that my partner would not do in front of me, right? So whatever that is, it's not just sex, I'll tell you that. If they're hiding their phones and they don't want you to see, all of that, okay. Then don't hurt my children anyway. That's my other deal breaker. And then, of course, what was the third one? Don't physically assault me or emotionally abuse me. Okay.
You just don't do those things at all.
Don't do all those things.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, tell me.
That's pretty reasonable. Yeah.
Right. I was going to say, I don't think it's too much to ask for. Anything else you can talk about it. Maybe we'll work it out. Right. Those things. Right. Yeah. Not okay. I think every human should have deal breakers. And maybe, listen, I'm not saying that cheating is a deal breaker for everyone. It just is for me personally. I find it disrespectful, to put it mildly. So anyway, all right. But at least, do you want to go into any more detail for Alyssa about why they lie for him? Don't they care what they're doing?
Don't they care what they're doing? They don't care what they're doing. There are people out there just want to party, just want to play, just for like, hey, I don't want to get involved in that.
Right.
And if he's, yeah. And then there's people who would care if they had the truth. You got to remember the age-old thing of like going to someone else and saying, I'm in a loveless marriage.
Right.
My wife hasn't touched me in 10 years. She's a this, she's a that. I can't leave her because of her mental illness, but
that sounds like a story I think we've all heard once or twice.
I think it's in a movie, I think it's from a movie, but you right. Yeah. They're told lies, they're fed lies, or they're charmed. They're under the spell of the narcissist, and they don't care in the sense of they don't care to investigate.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, there are of course those who actually come in and attempt to seduce someone who's in a relationship too.
Right. They could be just as toxic.
Right. But ultimately, the way I see it is this: do they, I agree with everything Lise said. Don't they care what they're doing? I would say they do not, as Lise mentioned. Mostly, some would, some wouldn't.
Right.
I would also say the ones, when they're blatantly lying for him, look, again, people should have standards. They should. And I think, well, I'll tell you something. I went to like a little bar with my friend a few weeks back, and she's single. She saw us being her wing woman, you know. She's really cute and fun. But anyway, and some guy was like kept sort of, you know, say he was coming on to me a little bit, and I was very uncomfortable. But then I found out, and I wasn't going. I'm already in a situation, you know, but I was not going to do anything with this guy, obviously. But it occurs to me, he came out and said something about his wife and his babies at home, 2 babies, twins. I was like, go home, your wife, go home to your wife, you know, and because not everybody's.
Not everyone's gonna say that. They're gonna be like,
Right.
"Well, you're the one out. Sure, why not?"
I mean, he was cute,
Yeah,
but way too young for me, and also married
married.
and irrelevant because I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying, if I think every person should, but nobody's responsible except that one person. You see what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. In a sense, those women they don't owe you
Darn thing.
a darn thing, unfortunately. You'd think
Right.
just human decency that they wouldn't lie, but
And right. And
yeah,
some of us wouldn't, some of them would, and I'm not including myself and us with them because
they could even be being threatened not to lie. You don't know.
well, that's true too.
Mhm.
And
Or to lie,
irrelevant.
rather, not to tell the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever it is, whatever the issue is, I wouldn't even talk to those people. I
No.
would talk to that person that you were supposed to be with, it committed to you. That's the person.
Right.
Nobody else matters, you know, because in the grand scheme of things, whoever the 2 people in the relationship or however many people are in the relationship, those are the ones responsible for protecting it, nobody else,
Right.
you know. And I know it feels easy to get angry at the other people because they have been somewhere you don't want them to have been. And but no matter how hard they try to seduce, they're still not responsible. It's that person, you know.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry. Oh, to be fair, if they knew, like if it's your best friend or something, or your sister or your brother, somebody who knew that you were with them and knew you and knew them, that's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's different. Yeah. It just depends. Yeah.
Right. But
Hmm.
I'm talking about randos that are out there just whatever, you know. Okay. Too much talking. Oh, JJ says my father narcissist passed away last weekend. That's very difficult. And I know that is, I apologize. I'm sorry for your loss. I know it's probably confusing.
Mixed. It's a mixed. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to say anything else about that, Lise?
No, it's a lot of conflicted feelings for people when that happens often.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had people.
Anything you're feeling is valid. It's
That's
all
right.
real. It's all there, and you got to move through them.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with feeling what you feel. If you don't feel comfortable saying it to the people around you, I understand. But there are people who will listen. I mean, for example, like I've had clients, several clients over the years who have dealt with the death of a narcissist spouse or parent or other, you know, and it's real confusing. At least, have you ever had anyone in your coaching groups do that or in your one-on-ones?
Yeah. Yeah. Things like writing letters and just burning them, getting it out in your journals, just getting it out to someone that you can trust, that won't, you don't feel judged by. And if there is conflicted feelings, maybe there's not. This is just putting words in your mouth right now. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that I have a client right now that we're working on. Both of her parents have already passed away, and we're working on helping her forgive them and or release what one of them did and move forward. And letters are very helpful sometimes. So
it's interesting. I know my grandpa was a malignant narcissist, right? So she grew up with him, and she caretook him at the end in a sense. I mean, his money took care of him, and she managed it. So anyway, she had his ashes. She's like, what do I do with this?
Wow.
It took her a long time to figure out what to do with this. And she just kept like, bring them out and she'd be like, I guess I should put these somewhere. I don't know what to do with them. And then because she's like, I kind of want to like just honor just a person. Then it's him. And like, he was not nice. And what do I do with it? And she had she was moving and had a bonfire to like just burn paperwork and stuff that she didn't need. They have a big property. And
Mm-hmm.
instead, she got the ashes and reburned them.
Go, mom.
But you know what? I'm like, that's perfect. It's just like a double purification, so that maybe what if there was an ounce of good.
Fair enough.
I don't know what else to think, right?
Because what could you even do? I mean, can you
Right.
even reburn?
But it was so conflicted. I know, like her, how conflicted the feelings were. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I never knew that.
Like,
interesting. How do you even do? Okay.
She's like, I don't know. I'll just burn them. Like, that's putting them back in the earth, right? That's. Like,
I mean, yeah, sort of. I guess.
I thought it was kind of brilliant, but
it's smart. I like it. I mean, it's better than keeping them on your shelf forever. I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Let's see here. Okay. They know about me. Oh, Melissa adds, but they know about me and the other women as well. Yeah, they still okay.
Yeah, because they don't care. They don't care. People like that just don't care. I think that's a place of acceptance of seeing these people don't care, and I don't need to know why they don't care, because you don't need to invest your time worrying about them. The only thing you need to know is that they don't care. They have no moral high ground for any of this.
Right.
They don't care.
Right. It's
sick, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you something, Alyssa. Oh, this is another comment from Jack that is also possible depending on how long we're talking about they've been together and how serious it's been. But he says they also may be trauma bonded, which, sure. I mean, there are narcissists who run multiple long-term relationships.
They have multiple lives, like 4 and 5 at once. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So God only knows what you're dealing with here. I've seen probably a lot of things a lot of people will be shocked by in some of my clients and stuff with what they've dealt with, and even not as much as what I've dealt with. My romantic narcissist was pretty standard. I mean, for the most part, a little shocking here and there, but boy, I've heard some stories from some survivors that would probably blow your socks off. It sounds like this might be one of those, at least on that side of it. So, yeah. All right. Kevin says, I think my dad changed in the end, but then he realized it. All of us kids were sick too. That's rough. So maybe the mom was okay. All right. How are we doing on time, Lise? I don't even know what time we started. I know I have a call in a few minutes.
We have a few minutes, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Adrian's said she'll come back later. Okay, Adrian, we'll see you later. Oh, here we go. Here's a little bit more of Alyssa's story. She said, I've been with him for 5 years. These girls are more than likely paid prostitutes.
Oh, well, so that makes sense. Why would this is their job?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she said, so as long as they're giving him money and dope, they will lie, right? And be okay with being.
He's the client.
He's the client.
I hate to be that cold, but that's
the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm so sorry, Alyssa. I hope that you consider pulling yourself away from that whole mess. Mm-hmm. It sounds like
you don't
really
that.
And there are other issues, physical issues that you could be a party to as well. Like there's no guarantee that he's clean. I mean, no matter how many tarots he takes, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Ooh, I'm sorry. All right. When they find out, what they're up to. What was this? Okay. Julie Dion says when they find out, and I don't know where the rest of the question is. Oh, here's a good one, Lise. This one might be helpful. Elle says, does the full body panic and grief when they leave ever go away?
Yes.
Will you take that one?
Yes, it does. Or we would be sitting here in it right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It goes
absolutely.
away. Yeah, it goes away. It doesn't take as long as you think. The full
keep talking.
No, I mean, the more you stay no contact, the more you focus on your life, focus on things that give you comfort, give you nurturing, self-care, the heck out of yourself.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with positive people and friends. And if you can, if you don't have that, then find support that will give it to you. And even if it's in the form of books, movies, music, whatever it is, it fades. It's like people usually, what I see is it's really high and then it starts to get better, and then boom, it goes high, and then it gets better, and then boom, it goes high, and then it'll get better for a little while, and then why am I feeling this again? And then it gets, so it's like roller coaster, and then
It's a process.
right, and then it levels off. Yeah.
I guess I like to tell people it's like incremental, right? Like exactly what you said, but also just a tiny bit better each day overall, right? So like ups and downs for sure, but if you were to put a flat line on top of the ups and downs, it would go. You would be better. You would get better. It just incrementally each day. And tell yourself that, you know what, okay, it really sucks today. It hurts so badly, but you know what? I know tomorrow I might be this much better.
Right.
And this much adds up over time.
Right. Yeah. And I had one person explain it really well to me. If you've ever seen or been in chronic pain or had an injury or had a long illness or anything like that, you feel terrible. You feel like it's never going to get better. You feel like every day just putting your sore foot on the ground is like, oh, just getting out of bed, right? And then you decide, I'm determined to heal this. And so you go to physical therapy. It's not getting better. It's not getting better. It's not getting better. But then a year later, you're walking 5 miles. Yeah. And you're like, wait, when did it get better? Sometimes it's like that. Like it's not like, oh, it's all better one day. Sometimes like incremental, like Angie's saying. But if you think of it like this is kind of like a chronic illness of the emotions. And it will get better if you're doing the things to help it get better.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, I'm just trying to, okay. One more question, and I think we're going to have to wrap up because I have a call in about 15 minutes. Okay. Patrick Kane says, just as I'm healing and doing better, my ex-wife is trying to be nice to me and wanting to talk. Also, the ex-fiance is having her flying monkey text me asking how I am and what I've been doing. I believe they are both about to knock on my door. So your ex-wife and your ex-fiance are trying to be nice to you, wanting to talk. And you have a flying monkey of the ex-fiance texting, asking how you are. Okay, so you're getting hoovered by 2 people at the same time. Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
Although it can give kind of a contrast, or it can give kind of like, put it in relief of like, whoa, I see what this is. They're both doing it.
Yeah. Valid point. As far as how to deal with it, Patrick, I would make sure nobody has keys to your front locks. I would even consider getting one of those door cameras. They're not that expensive. The Ring ones. You don't even have to wire them into your house or anything. And I would never answer the door if they show up. Like, I'm not here. Sorry. You don't have to do that. You don't have to let them in your house. You don't have to let them see your face if you don't want to. Right? Gray Rock is your friend. Anything else for Patrick before we wrap up, please?
I think coming back to the original topic here of taking responsibility, try to understand what it is in you that hooks you back to them. Try to understand, is it intimacy? Is it friendship? Is it the way they tell jokes? Whatever it is, try to understand those things and resist them. And understand 100%. That they're going to use those things.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
That's what they're going to go after. They're going to, all of a sudden, why are they being so nice to me?
Yes.
Let's think about that, right? Because you
100%.
need people to be nice to you, right? If you didn't need people to be nice to you, they wouldn't be doing that.
That's right.
So yeah, that's right. Where we can, and then if you do happen to, like, if all those things Angie's talking about, somehow they get through it, you know what's coming. And especially if you're talking about female narcissistic exes with a man, they're going to use often
all the things. Yeah. They're feminine wiles. Even those old ladies know how to use them.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I just have an itch right here. I can't quite reach it. Yeah.
My zipper's stuck.
Literally, I had a male client tell me that. She told me her zipper was stuck and then it was on. And I'm like, oh, honey, please.
And they can, you almost can't even help it if you get yourself.
You can't. It's just, because they know exactly what to say, how to say it. It'll just be for fun. Remember old times. Yeah. So resist all of it.
And remember that when I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. Remember that when you are, you experience that during that situation, you for a short time will be further bonded to them than you were before the oxytocin thing and all that. So don't do it.
Don't do it. Even a touch.
Quickie.
Even shaking hands. Even shaking hands will do it. Yeah.
Oh, it's dropped something. It's fine. My fidget toy fell down. It's fine. Okay. See, I have to fidget. All right. So anyway, we're wrapping up for right now. I have a client in 12 minutes, and I think Lise might also have an appointment. But guys, real quick, if you would please in the chat here and or in the comments below on the replay, let us know, are you interested in having the moderators mod squad come in? And mod squad, let us know. Are you interested in coming in for say a 10-minute get to know our mod squad during our next or a near future session? Let us know. All right, Lise, any final words of wisdom for the group today?
Just take care. Have a good week, and I guess we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Big hugs, everybody. Got this. Lise, you're awesome and amazing, and I love you. See you next time. All right, everybody. Bye.